So let's work on the second way of solving the angle ratio question. So this was from last video, angle A1 is angle A2, and the question told us that the ratio of angle 1 to angle 2 is 4 to 11. And what is A1? What is A2? And we also noted that A1 plus A2 is 180 degrees. If you don't know why, start with the line B and C, rotate that till you get to D, that's A2, and then you rotate again by A1 amount, get to A, and that gives you a straight line, and the straight line is 180 degrees. So how do we do a question like this? Well, second way solving is you note that A1, A2, 4 to 11. So ratio wise or fraction wise, A1 over A2 is equal to 4 over 11. Now let's say we want to solve for A1 first. Well, let's multiply both sides by A2. We got A1 times A2 over A2 to 4 over 11 times A2. A2 over A2 is just 1, so we're left with A1 is equal to 4 over 11 A2. So now we have an expression for A1 in terms of A2. And by subbing this into here, we'll be able to, instead of having two unknowns, A1 and A2, we'll only have one unknown, which is A2. And you can kind of see from this that A1 is just a fraction amount of A2. So we sub that into the equation above. So we know that A1 plus A2 is 180 degrees. Sub in for A1, 4 over 11 A2 plus A2 is 180 degrees. So what are we doing right here? We're adding 4/11 of something plus a whole. And we know that fraction wise, 1 is really 1 over 1. Any whole number is just over 1, but we never write the over 1. So now, we want to add them, we have to find a common denominator. We use 11. 11 is the lowest common denominator, but you can find any common denominator. So let's use 11. So 4 over 11 plus, so we multiplied the bottom by 11. Now we multiply the top by 11. So now that we have same denominators, we can just add the top. It's equal to 15 over 11. So 4 over 11 of A2 plus 1 A2 is really 15 over 11 A2 is equal to 180 degrees. So now what are we going to do? Okay, we want to isolate A2. So how are we going to do that? Well, we'll multiply both sides by 11 and then divide by 15. So essentially it removes the 15 over 11. If we multiply the left side by 11, we'll get 11 over 11, which is just 1. And if we divide both sides by 15, this will be 15 over 15, and then you'll just be left with A2. So then whatever you do to the left side, you do to the right. So you're left with A2 is 11 over 15th of 180 degrees. And essentially this method just leads you to the same expression you had in the last question. So you punch down your calculator, 11 over 15 is 0.73, which we know is 73%. And when you see brackets like this, it just means multiply. So 0.73 times 180 is 131 degrees. So A2 is 131 degrees. Again, we got to the same result as method 1. The results were the same, but the way we did it was different. So now, how do I solve for a1? Well, we'll just plug this back into this expression, because we know that this has to be true. And now we found something for a2. We found the number for it, 131. So now it's easy to find a1. So you know that a1 plus a2, which is 131, is 180. So you move this to the other side, turns it negative. Or another way of looking at it is subtract 131 from both sides. Subtracting 131 from both sides, this side will be plus 131 minus 31. So when you add the same number, then take it away, it's essentially 0. So you're left with 180 minus 131. Punch that in your calculator, and that gives you 49 degrees. Now you want to check that these two are correct. You just add them and see that they equal 180. 131 plus 49, and you're left with exactly 180 degrees. Now, this part right here, you could have easily isolated, started by isolating for a2, and then find a2 in terms of a1. It doesn't really matter which one you use. If the question was asking for both, you know, it doesn't hurt. Or if it was asking for only one, it doesn't hurt to find both. But all in all, this is the second way of doing it, which essentially, like I said before, gives you the same results as method 1.